First time in San Francisco for me.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. I'm a little bit jet lagged, to be honest. It's really weird. I came from Miami yesterday and
Miami, all the beautiful people.
yes. I didn't know that you could get jet lag, but it's 3 hours of difference, so it makes sense, right? Well, thank you so much for coming in and listening to me. My name is Maricielo Solis. I am a former TV journalist turned online media entrepreneur. And today we're going to talk about, right, how to build a 6-figure passive income through a blog. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about my background. And yes, it is Lester Holt, the nicest man in the industry. When I graduated college, I went to school in Massachusetts. The dream was always to work in media. I grew up in Peru, a country in South America. At that point, there was a lot of terrorism and economically was not doing really well. So my parents were really afraid, right? Our security was in jeopardy. They wanted a better life for us. But I remember being this young girl dreaming of working in television because I would see Christiana Manpour reporting from Gaza and all these amazing locations, and I was like, I want to be a badass like her. It was just so powerful, right? To see a woman in the front line covering such amazing issues. And then when I went to college, I always knew that I wanted to work in media. So I applied to the NBC Page program, this really hard program to get into. I didn't know back then. But I found myself working at NBC with Lester Holt right after graduation.
Wow.
Which was a dream come true.
That is a dream come true.
I was working as a production assistant while he was still at the weekend Today show, and then now he's transitioned. He's a main anchor for Nightly News. And I have to say that he's the nicest man in the business. He's such a humble soul, and I'm so proud of everything he's achieved. I stayed at NBC for about 2 years. I worked at MSNBC, Morning Joe, The Today Show, Dateline. I mean, I got to meet so many incredible people. And after, CNN came knocking my door, right? Big time, it was my dream. And at CNN, I worked in so many different capacities. I was a producer for the morning television show with Chris Cuomo. He's no longer there. A little bit controversial, but I worked with Chris Cuomo, Alison Camerata. I got to cover elections, work with Will Blitzer, AC 360. I was traveling all over the place. I was living the dream, honestly. Because for me, working at CNN with Christiana Manpour, Anderson Cooper, Will Blitzer, especially for a young girl coming from Peru, was just a dream come true. But one day, this was 2017, I woke up, getting ready to go to work, and I collapsed, and I ended up in the ER. And I was really scared, and I didn't know what was happening. I was living in New York on my own. My whole family was in Miami. And then when I woke up, the doctor was really worried about me, and I was like, I had all these different things, like when you go to the ER, it was just so scary. And I'm gonna be honest, I hated hospitals. So the doctor was like, well, you passed out because you're not eating well. And you need to take care of yourself. And what had happened is that apparently I had fallen down really bad and I was bleeding. So there was like blood all over me. It was just really, really crazy. So that experience was very scary for me, and it made me revalue what I really wanted to do with my life. Because at that point I was a machine. If you ever work in media, you know that all you do is work. Like, news, breaking news, right? You're like a gypsy. You have to be one day in Paris and one other day you have to be in Vegas covering a shooting. And I am a really positive person, but what had happened is that all these different, struggles and different covering that I was doing was really affecting me mentally. But I was like, no, I'm okay. I can deal with all of this. This is cool. It's part of my job. But you know what? Meeting people at their worst day, especially when they just lost a daughter or a son, was taking a huge toll on my mental health, and I didn't know. So that experience for me was something that helped me revalue and made me realize that I wanted to focus on other type of storytelling. Like, I know covering breaking news is very important, but I wanted to do more uplifting. Because not everything in the world is sucks, right? There are also good things, good people. That's really the type of storytelling that I wanted to do. So in 2017, while I was still working at CNN, I launched my first blog, plentydownload.com. And really, at its early stages, it was just a website that we wanted to give a space for college students all over the United States to talk about their personal experiences with issues ranging from guns in America to immigration, right, to mental health. And one of the inspirations for doing that was because that year I had been mentoring students at Columbia University. They have a great journalism school, and I was the youngest reporter working for CNN. I was, I think, 24. So the dean of admissions called me and said, "Hey, Cielo, why don't you call and talk to students that want to work in CNN, just like you?" And I was like, "Of course." But one of the things I realized in these conversations with young people, specifically Gen Z, is that the way they consume media was very differently from us. Like, we watched CNN and Fox, and they were watching YouTube and TikTok, right? Well, like, that's where they get their news. And I was like, what? So I started realizing that conventional media was drastically changing, right? And specifically their focus. They were more focused on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram was just taking off, all these different platforms. So that made me realize that if I were to create some sort of website, right, and provide a platform for college students, then that could be really useful. So in 2017, while I was still working at CNN, and this experience had just happened, I ended up in the ER. It all kind of, I guess, like, to me, it's like things happen for a reason, right? You start connecting the dots, and I was like, okay, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. So one of her stories about suicide prevention went viral on Facebook, and I think at that point we were just monetizing with Google Ads, and we made like $500 from just like advertising, and I was like, wait, what? You can actually make money throwing ads? Is that even a real thing?
Yeah.
I was excited, right? So I decided to take an abrupt decision. I quit my job, and that's why I landed in that couch for 3 years, working on my first publication. I remember calling my dad and saying, "Dad, I'm done with CNN." And my dad is like, "Okay, you're going to go to CBS News or other network." And I was like, "No, I'm like done with media." And my dad almost fainted. I'm not kidding. It's like, "Are you crazy?" Especially coming from an immigrant family. It's like, "You go back and you beg for your job tomorrow." And I was like, "No, Dad, trust me, I'm gonna make it." So I spent the next 3 years working on this publication. And I'm going to be honest, because I feel like sometimes when we talk about entrepreneurship, everyone talks about social media, right? How much money they make and all this perfect life they seem to be living. Entrepreneurship is hard, very hard. And just because you start making more money doesn't mean that the problems just go away. If anything, the pressure, the stake is higher because now you have a team. You have people, right? That they rely on you for a living. So you have to deliver. And at the beginning, I was so confident because, we just had this big story going viral, we're gonna make more money, this is all going to work. And then I started investing so much money in all the wrong places, and I did not understand what I was doing wrong, but I was not growing that publication. Frustrated, working 3 part-time jobs. I was doing timeshare for Wyndham. Hey, sales, it's always good. Very proud of that. So that's how I was able to pay my bills. And at the same time, I was working about like 10 hours on my publication. One day, I was fed up, tired. I remember coming back to my home and saying, "I'm done. I'm tired of this. I made this work. It's been like $20,000. Work with all these digital marketing agencies that they said they were going to do 1,000 things, and they never did anything, or at least I didn't understand what they did. But there's something that I need a sign. That's what I told God. I need a sign. You have to tell me, where do I have to go?" So I remember typing on Google, $1 million website. And generally, okay, a website, a blog run by a 23-year-old that came up. And that girl would publish all her income reports every month. So I started adding. And she, that year, had made over $1 million.
Wow.
While still in college.
Wow.
I was like, what? Here I am. I worked at CNN with Lester Hall. I supposedly have all this experience. I'm sorry, is this working? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I have all this experience, and I'm not. I cannot grow my blog. What's wrong with me? And then she started talking about SEO, SEO, SEO. And I'm like, what the hell is SEO? Like, I need to learn, right? There's gotta be something about SEO. So I decided to take a leap of faith and I enrolled on my first mastermind about search engine optimization. And that is what really took my business to the next level. This happened in January. I mean, this has been 5 years of hard work, okay? This did not happen overnight. I was featured on Forbes right next to Ellen Pompeo. I don't know if you guys know her. She's from Grey's Anatomy. So to me, it was surreal because Cheryl Robinson is such a big contributor, reporter for Forbes. This was just unbelievable. So once I took the mastermind and I really started hanging out with bloggers, meaning people that were making over $1 million, because sometimes that's what you need, right? I feel like an outsider. I feel like, you get the imposter syndrome. I don't belong here. Like, what am I doing here? This was 2018. But I was committed to make it work. So once and I really have to thank my coaches for everything that I learned, but once I implemented SEO into my website, I was able to go from 10,000 readers per month to 10,000 readers per day, okay? Today, my blentydollar.com website alone reaches about half a million readers to 1 million readers per month. We've been able to monetize it through online advertising, affiliate marketing. That publication alone is worth 7 figures. But once you get good at something, you want to keep growing, right? So now I own 5 different websites in different niches that are generating me over $2 million in profit. And this is all passive income, guys. So that means they're on autopilot. I don't do anything.
Congratulations.
Wow. Was it easy? No. Hard work? Yes. But if you believe in yourself and you execute relentlessly, it will happen for you. Trust me. Now, we're going to talk about this, because that's where you came from, right? We're going to talk about the simplest way to build an 100,000 asset in a year. I'm sorry. Year. Okay, let's make that up. Probably my ghostwriter was sleeping because my ghostwriter does this, okay? Without having to rely on platforms. You go there. So these are the popular ones. Before I even get into a blog, because a lot of people ask me, why do I have to create a blog? Like, are you telling me that I have to do the TikTok and Facebook, and I have to be on YouTube, and now I have to create a blog? Nah, that's too much, right? But these are the popular ways in 2023 that people make money. YouTuber, social media influencer, right? Stock market, Bitcoin. I don't recommend Bitcoin, guys. So many people lost so much money. Not a reliable way. But Amazon FBA salary is great, right? What is my biggest issue with all of these different platforms?
They're owned by somebody else.
You do not own, and you're not in control of any of these platforms.
That's right.
If the algorithm changes, you're screwed. Let's just be honest about that.
And they own your content.
You don't know your audience. They restrict what you can post and how much you can post. And you know what's the biggest thing? That while you're putting so much effort into these platforms, you're actually not building a liquid asset, which is what you do when you actually build a website and you create all these different strategies to drive organic traffic. Meanwhile, building a blog allows you to do the following. First of all, you have absolute control over the platform because it is your own asset. Okay? You have control of your audience. You control what you can post, how much you want to post. You can use social media. You can use TikTok, Instagram. I'm everywhere. If you see me right now, I'm everywhere. But am I actually in social media? No, I have a ghostwriter and a full-time social media manager. Okay? I focus on building my business and scaling my business. I'm not thinking about social media. But definitely social media is a great way to drive traffic and leads, but you're not relying on any of these platforms. So that's really what I want you to understand. You can create many streams of income through your website, such as affiliate marketing, online advertising, online courses, coaching, and so much more. Your own products. You can grow your email list. Because we organically grew Blend. Blend is a college publication. Our mission is to make college life easy and smarter. Organically, we were able to grow our email list to over 70,000 subscribers. And we purge our list every 4 months because remember, college audience is not forever. Every 4 years, people move on and they go to university and they no longer need us. But if you're in a niche, like financial niche, self-publishing, right, or wellness, if you're a health coach, then your content is really evergreen, and your subscribers probably too. The best one, okay? And this is probably what, I don't know why people just really don't know this. Because it is your asset, it has a valuation, okay? It has actually more liquidity than your own house, which is why I spend my money in building online assets. Not too much houses, because the house, you have to look at the market. I'm not saying that, real estate is amazing, but definitely having websites and taking those websites to 6-7 figure valuations, they give you more liquidity, which is, to me, in my books, amazing. Now, the biggest elephant in the room, right? How do you drive traffic, organic traffic to your website? What is SEO? Let's start with SEO because that's the main thing. Does anyone know what SEO stands for? Yes?
Search engine optimization.
What does that mean?
You use keywords to make sure that you're part of the algorithm that gets you found.
Okay. Yes, it stands for search engine optimization. And just to put it simple, because people love to complicate this, okay? It's just a set of guidelines, in-page, off-page, that you have to follow to organically rank on Google. Now, let me be clear, okay? Because SEO is a very misunderstood space. There is local SEO. Local SEO is where you run those Google ads and then people find you locally, right? That's what you want if you have a local business. Then you have paid SEO, where you run Google campaigns, so you get targeted and you rank high. But when you're running Google ads, it can be an incredible part of your business strategy. But once you have a solid foundation, because the last thing you want is to invest all this money on paid marketing and forcing people to take actions if they don't know you. They don't care about you. Somehow, hasn't it happened to you? You're like, how did I end up in this website? I was just on Facebook a minute ago. It's happened to me, right? Or sometimes that you want to buy something and then that item follows you everywhere. That's called retargeting. Yeah. So definitely, it's very, very important to focus. What I do specifically is organic marketing, because that's how you build a foundation to your business and how you build a loyal fan base. So what is SEO content marketing? It's the process by which a specific content, depending on your niche, is created with the purpose to make it rank high organically, okay? And the content is usually published through a blog. And let's just be clear, what is a blog? It's just a hub of information. That's what it is. Now, if there's, this is the part that you should definitely take 1,000 pictures, because this is the part that 90% of people get it wrong, okay? So if there's one thing you'll learn from me today, is this. 90% of people that come to me tell me, Cielo, my blog is not working, I had it for 2 years, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. And then I ask them, did you do in-depth niche research before you started? And they're like, what is that? That's your answer, right? The number one step, and this is my step-by-step process to build a 6-figure blog. Step one is you have to choose your niche. Now, how do you choose your niche? You have to look at your industry. You have to understand, first of all, it's viable. Who are your competitors? How are they monetizing their own websites? Do you actually have a chance to rank high on the algorithm? Because if you don't, you're just wasting your time. Okay? And that is probably what 90% of people get it wrong. Once you've done niche research, you understand that there's market viability, you can actually will be able to take the industry and even outrank your competitors. The second thing you do back-end research. You understand what are your competitors, what is bringing traffic to your competitors, and you use that to create a content calendar. Okay? I always say a blog becomes an expensive hobby if you don't know what you're doing, because it takes time and energy, right, to write content. So if you don't have a strategy behind that, you're just wasting your time and your energy. And that's the last thing you want to do as an entrepreneur. So make sure you create a content calendar for at least 6 to 8 months is going to be so helpful. And this needs to be done even before you launch your blog. Number 3, 4 is more technical, but picking the right domain, picking the right hosting, picking the right theme is also extremely important at the beginning, because the last thing you want is for your website to break. When you have 100,000 readers per month on your website and you're making $5,000 to $10,000 from online ads, and then your website breaks, you wish you had listened to me, okay? Because that means money. You're losing money, okay? And then step 5 is really creating a workflow where you publish content on not a daily, but consistently. And then you are repurposing that content through other platforms to drive organic traffic. That is how you build a 6-figure blog. Now, I want to make something clear, because when majority of people think about organic traffic, they only think about SEO. Yes, SEO is great, but in 2023, it's not enough to build a loyal fan base. Why? Because you guys probably all heard about AI, right? Artificial intelligence is taking over the publishing world. I always say you can never put all your eggs in one basket. You need to diversify. In a digital marketing world that is constantly evolving, that is how you win. So beyond Google, just so you know, Pinterest is actually the only social media platform made for bloggers, because it's the only platform that would allow your readers to exit and go read something on your website. It's not TikTok, it's not Instagram, and it's not Facebook. Those platforms want you to stay there because that's how they make money. But Pinterest on a monthly basis drives anything from 20 to 30,000 readers to all my blogs. And there's definitely a strategy behind Pinterest, okay? So if I have to choose one platform, it has to be Pinterest. If you don't know it, now you know. Second, web stories. Have you guys ever heard about web stories?
No.
So web stories is like Instagram stories, like Facebook stories, but the difference is that they live in the internet, on the online web, Google, largest search engine in the world. So if you have this strategy, you can drive a lot of traffic. Because you have to think about, yes, Instagram is great, and TikTok is great, and Facebook is great, but who's bigger? Who's the giant here? It's Google.
Right now.
Yeah, very different. It's at a different level, right? Facebook, believe it or not, in 2023, Facebook can still drive traffic to your website. You just need to know where to focus your efforts, okay? Facebook groups are still really good. Facebook pages, if you know what you're doing and where you're targeting or how you're targeting, you can actually drive traffic. And this is my favorite one, syndication, which very few people know. Once you have a piece of content at your website and you know that it provides massive value, then you can syndicate it in sites like MSN.com, you can syndicate it in bigger sites, and that just drives huge traffic to our website. Actually, the other day I put a case study of how just syndicating, I think it was like 5 pieces of content, brought over 30,000 readers in 1 month to a website. So syndication probably is the big one. And that's more an advanced strategy that 7-8-figure bloggers use, because there's so many big websites in our space. Now, this is a case study directly from my first website, legitlevel.com. You guys remember that I was telling you that I was about to give up, I was tired, I didn't even know how it worked. I hired all these people to write content, but I was not targeting keywords, or I thought that I knew about SEO, but I didn't. But once I understood how it worked, and I applied it to my website and created an SEO content calendar, taking into account my niche research and my competitors, over a 6-month period, I published 60 articles. And this is what happened. First of all, I just want to make clear, higher content ranks on Google, the more traffic. Okay, hopefully that's something you guys know. Okay. So this is what happened. You see here? Here I was just publishing, and then in July 2021, woo! It started taking off. So I went from having 10,000 readers per month to 10,000 readers per day, and since then we've just been skyrocketing. Just because of SEO. So imagine if you have SEO and all these different strategies to drive massive traffic to your website. Now, this is how SEO changed my business. The first one you already know. I started making consistently $6,000 to $10,000 through online ad networks. Does anyone know what an online ad network is? No? Okay. Have you ever been to a website, let's say a cooking website or recipe or mommy website, you're reading an article and you see like these little ads? Yeah? Well, that's online ads, and then probably those websites are making millions of dollars, let me just tell you. Some of those websites are really ugly, but they don't care. They're still making good money. I made over $100,000 in Amazon sales in a given month. It's crazy. If you have an audience that truly believes in what you put out there, you provide massive value, affiliate marketing can be so powerful. Do you guys know what affiliate marketing is about? Yes? It's just referring a product, right? And you get a percentage of that. Amazon Associate is one of the biggest affiliate marketing programs out there. This is my favorite one, and I didn't even know that this is just so powerful. Once you start getting so much traffic from Google, brands, you don't have to go pitch to brands. Brands come to you because they start finding you. It's like, I want to work with that girl. Oh my God, her website is ranking really high for this specific keyword. So this was just something extremely organic for us. We get requests for guest posts, for syndication, we get requests for native sponsored posts, and also for brand collaboration and brand campaigns, just because we are ranking really high organically. It's specific and we are tapping into a niche, okay? Like mine is college niche, like the financial niche. If I have financial people here, like if you were to build a financial blog, it's crazy the amount of money you can make. I know so many of my friends that have big publications, just on the lower end, they're making $50,000 with online advertising. It's so crazy per month. Yeah, so this is just December from Amazon Associates. This really made me realize I need to get into commerce, right? Because this just was referrals. I was like, damn, I need to get into commerce. But to be honest, I'm so busy trying to run 5 websites and then running out this agency that I don't have time. But then at some point, I'm going to get into commerce. So this is what a blog can do for you, business. First of all, it's going to increase your brand awareness and your credibility, okay, because you're positioning yourself as an expert on your industry. That, because people are coming to your website because of the value that you provide, will organically create a low fan base that you can monetize. And that's the biggest thing. Think about your own user experience. Okay, think about your own user experience, right? When you want to bake a chocolate cake, you put a keyword, how to bake a chocolate cake. You basically land on a website that you don't even know, but they provide really good resources. You're like, oh my God, I love this. This is so easy to follow. And then you see a pop-up. Have my best 10 recipes, right? Put your email here and I'll send it to you. So now you take it to actions. You're reading a piece of content, which they're probably already monetized through online ads, and now you're part of the newsletter, right? That's incredible. So how many people, right, if you have into your website 50,000, 100,000 people per month, how much you can make, not only passive income, right, but they actually convert it into your own offers, whether that is a product, a membership, an mastermind, you name it. Getting consistent organic warm leads. So what ends up happening is that you built a warm organic machine. All these people are coming, you're basically providing massive value, you're getting into your email newsletter, so selling a membership, anything really, becomes an organic process, and it's the result of the massive value that you provide to them. Because guys, think about it. You need to think this way. What makes you different? There's 1,000 financial coaches, 1,000 wellness coaches. What is going to be, right, the difference that you're going to make? It's going to be because of the value that you provide. People that are going to do business with you, they're going to buy, yes, into your product and the fact that you know a lot, but they're going to buy and they're going to want to work with you because you align with their values, because they resonate with you. And that is what makes a difference. And this is the biggest one we're talking about, creating new streams of passive income through online marketing and online advertising. Now, if you're not familiar, just really quickly, AppDrive, Notsko, RapTive, and Medialine are the biggest premium ad networks in our industry. To get accepted into RapTive, you need to have 100,000 page views. All my websites are monetized with RapTive. And Medialine, you need to have at least 60,000 page views. And mostly your traffic needs to be from the US. But if you get into any of these premium networks, trust me, you start making real money, passive income. You sleep and you start making money. You go on vacation for a month, you're still making money. You never stop making money. So that concept to me has been life-changing.
I like that.
Yeah, so this is directly from one of my dashboards, okay? I was actually on vacation for a month and then I came back home, oh nice. I made over 6,392 through one of my websites. I'll take it, right? This is the most important part that I want you guys to understand. Blogs are very lucrative on their own because they have a valuation. So let's say you put a lot of work, you've been able now to, you're part of the premium network. Well, if you ever want to sell your website, the market will give you 36 to 42 times your monthly income or 3 times your yearly income. And just the way there's a market like Amazon where you buy and sell products, there is a market like Empire Flippers where you buy and sell websites. You see this website on the travel niche? Well, how much is selling? Over $1 million. I'm sure that travel blogger is going to be very happy when he exits his business. Dating, lifestyle blog, selling for over $1 million, so almost $1 million. I mean, it's crazy. But that is how powerful a website can be if you know what you're doing. Okay, so if there's anything you've learned from this, it is that the key to build a website worth over $100,000 is to have a robust content marketing strategy before you launch thoroughly. If you're not going to take the time to do this, please don't launch a blog. It's just going to be a waste of time. And I'm sure you guys are super busy trying to hustle and scaling your businesses. Now you have the choices, right? You can figure it out on your own, and yes, you have to take classes, masterminds, and all of this, or you can work with an expert to guide you. Now, when thinking about this, I never really thought about creating a mastermind because I have 5 blogs and you're doing really well, but I was in Vegas. And then I actually was explaining how I created my first website, and a lot of women came to me and say, hey, do you do one-on-one coaching? Because I want to work with you. I didn't know anything about this market. So that made me realize, you know what, there's a huge gap. So I want to be able to educate people so they understand every aspect of the market. So I created this mastermind. It's called $1 Million Website Mastermind, where I helped entrepreneurs build, launch, and scale their blogs to 6-figure valuations within a year. The goal of the mastermind is by the time you're done working with me, you should be in a premium network, okay? And this is a little bit about my mastermind. It includes blog creation, niche research, SEO content calendar. We have so many different master classes. We do group coaching. It is coaching for 8 months. The program, it's 8 months. It's not for everyone, and I take very few people every month. But trust me, after this mastermind, your life will be transformed. Because I am a type A person, and I expect to work with type A people. People that really are serious about building their life of their dreams. So if you're interested, please, I think you all have it with you, I think someone has a flyer. You can scan this, you can book a strategy call with me. For the first 20 people, okay, I'm giving a $500 discount on my mastermind. So just book your strategy call with me, and I'll see you guys. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So in building these websites, do we do these on WordPress?
WordPress, yeah. WordPress, just
So they
WordPress.
don't collect any fees from that?
I mean, WordPress is I think